All right, guys, we're back. Welcome back to another Star Wars with the Boys, streaming on Tuesday at 6:40, 6:45, 6:50, whatever feels convenient to us. How you doing this week, Ethan?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Yeah. How many times did you go? You don't ask the master.
I forget.
You forget.
I forget.
I forgot.
I forgot.
Yeah. Pretty good. It's been a little bit of a weird week for all kinds of things. I mean, we'll go over it in a second, but I always hate when there's Star Wars news and there's so much conflicting stuff going on with it. I mean, like the last time we saw that, was with the Mandalorian movie, and it was like, oh, it's supposed to be a movie, and like, nope, it's not. And then now it's 100% confirmed it is. And we got a new thing going on, and I'll talk about it in a second. But it's always annoying because like I get excited to make a video about it, and I go home, start, or even at work sometimes I start like just brainstorming topics and video ideas regarding the situation, and then I get conflicting interests, conflicting stories. So it's always annoying, but that's really it. Before we get into that, we have some stuff on the direct Star Wars Jedi 3 release, plot, and everything we know. So I haven't read this, but I'm hoping it's just got a little bit of an update. I was literally just thinking the other day, I was like, oh, it's been a little bit since I've played a good Star Wars game. I kind of for a while there, like last summer, 2023 summer, I played in the spring. I played through Battlefront 2, like finished it because I had played through it. But once I got to the First Order part, it kind of like there's two parts, right? There's part 1, part 2. Part 1's the Empire, part 2 is the First Order. And once I got to the First Order Resistance part, I kind of just skipped out. And I was like, I don't care about this. I went through it, redid all of it, Empire and First Order stuff. And I was like, this is actually fun. And then Survivor came out, and I played it almost right away when it came out. And that was when Athen was gone. And it was really fun. And I just remember having a really fun time with you guys on stream. I remember that review video was one of my favorite videos. I had just so much content to pull from because I had all the streams, and I could kind of just like keep clipping stuff. I just remember it, feeling rewarding going through and playing that and being able to give like a really good review, I thought. And then B, just like I really enjoyed that experience in general. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I can't wait to. I kind of want to play through a game. But I don't want to replay. I don't like to replay games too much unless I've not finished it completely. But hopefully we got some good news with this. So this is on the direct. This article is by Sam Hargrave. We'll kind of skip the beginning part because I doubt there's anything important. All right. Star Wars Jedi 3 release date. When will it come out? Fallen Order and Survivor director Stig Asmussen told IGN at the launch of the latest installment how he always wanted to see this as a trilogy, indicating Jedi 3 is likely to happen, especially given the success of the first two games. Respawn Entertainment posted various job listings for a new project indicating Star Wars Jedi 3 had begun development. A job listing for his senior VFX artist via comic book listed experience with Unreal 5 as big plus, suggesting the third game may upgrade from Unreal 4. That's cool. I never thought the graphics were bad by it. I actually thought the graphics were really good. And sometimes when graphics are really good in a game, they'll take down the performance of whatever game you're playing. But Survivor, I didn't think it had any performance problem, and it was very good looking. In the same interview with IGN, Asmussen explained how the upgrades of Unreal Engine 5, which he called pretty safe assumption, will not be easy, as the studio developed proprietary things for the previous game that will now take time to get it to work on any new engine. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I mean, we have a lot of proprietary things that we've wrapped in the engine into doing what it does for Jedi right now, and we would have to retool some of that to get it to work in any new engine. Lead actor Cameron Monaghan confirmed at Ocala Comic Con in Florida in September 2023 that Jedi 3 is in development, but his comments seem to indicate that the game is still very much in early stages. We're working on the third game, and we're in progress of doing it right now. So that's big undertaking, and there's been some conversation so far. Hopefully, when all things are said and done, we'll be able to go in and make some really cool, make something really cool for you guys again. Fallen Order began development in 2014 and took 5 years to develop it before it released in 2019, with Survivor following 4 years later in 2023. As such, Jedi 3 likely won't be released until 2027 or 2028, especially if it does take Respawn extra time to adapt to Unreal Engine 5. That said, the threequel is also facing an unfortunate setback after Asumison, who has lead development on the last two games in the third franchise, left the studio in September 2023 via IGN. A statement from the EA spokesperson confirmed that veteran Respawn leaders will be stepping up to guide the team going forward. As of now, Asumison's replacement as director for Jedi 3 has yet to be announced. What would Jedi 3 be about? Towards the end of Jedi Survivor, protagonist, I guess it's going to be spoilers, Jedi protagonist Cal Kestis openly embraced the dark side and used his power to defeat Bode. Going into Jedi 3, the young Jedi will likely continue to be tempted and rely on companions to bring him back to the light. But perhaps then, players will get the chance to use some more dark side force powers. Following the deaths of Cere Junda and Eno Kadorva, Cal could begin to take on a bigger role in the Hidden Path, helping shield force users across the galaxy. With the group having now made their way to Tanalorr, the Hidden Path may be using the secret Outer Rim planet as a base by the time Jedi 3 begins. Fallen Order and Survivor took a 5-year time jump between games, and there's always a possibility Jedi might do the same. Setting a gap between adventures would allow time for Cal to grow more powerful, further his relationships, and build up. Yeah. So that's really about it for that, but I guess this isn't really anything new, but just kind of insight on what to expect, because we really haven't heard anything since like the Comic-Con event last year in Florida, or the Comic-Con event even before that. We just knew it was in development, and so I think everyone was kind of like, ooh, hopefully it can get going quick. And while Unreal Engine 5 is great, I mean, this is going to be gorgeous. I mean, it's bad in two parts. One being, it's going to take a while just to get it adapted. The first two engines were both on Unreal Engine 4. They're not going to just be able to, copy and paste. That's not really how it works. It's going to take some time to transport over the stuff they want to transport over. And then B, with new Unreal engines, you never really know how it works because it's such a new thing. I mean, maybe this game comes out, unperforming, not well because it's a new engine. Who knows? And then, this B, this isn't bad, this isn't good. This is just kind of what to expect, right? So this isn't anything set in stone. 2028, 2029, it's definitely a ways out there as we're only in 2024. We could see even sooner, but I mean, being everything that's said, that kind of does make sense. 2028, 2027 maybe at the earliest, but who knows? I'm excited for it for sure. I'm definitely excited for Outlaws in the meantime. There's plenty of games to be looking forward to.
Yeah. I mean, if this was the only thing to be announced and it was 2027 or 8, that'd be disappointing. But we got some stepping stones in between now and then. And I mean, you really can't complain if they're going to try and go for another engine and they're going to give them a long release date. Because if I'm not mistaken, Unreal Engine, 5 is going to be coming out a while before 2027. Like, there's going to be other games with it before then. So hopefully they'll be able to test the waters and they'll make the mistakes as opposed to this one. Because, I mean, those engines, upgrade from 3 to 4 is just, it's so smooth, so crisp, and then you're just used to it. So I can't even, when I play this game's Jedi Survivor, I mean, I can't even imagine how much better it could be if at all. Like, it just feels amazing. So I'm very eager to see them make it better graphics, better animations, more smoothness, which I don't know. It just feels like almost unrealistic to expect more from a game than we're getting now.
I mean, I really can't emphasize. I don't think I really talked about it much in the review, which is kind of my fault. But the graphics to performance ratio was actually really, really good in Survival. I really didn't feel like there was a lot of bugs or bad performance issues on any front. I mean, there's small things like sometimes your input delay might affect when you evade or dodge. But I feel like that's most games. I don't think that was specific to Survivor. Any game that kind of relies on that heavily, on one-on-one combat kind of has those issues as time goes on. It just does. And as time goes on, they'll get better and better, as things usually do in the performance world. Kind of moving on. Quick, it's kind of a big piece of news, but quick little thing. Diego Luna reveals he only has 7 days left of filming on Star Wars Andor Season 2. We knew Andor Season 2 was already in the middle, and then it kind of got cut in half with those strikes. They're finishing up. That's all this really is to me, which is great. I don't remember if Andor Season 2 was really confirmed still for 2024, but it definitely wasn't delayed yet. And last time we knew it was still confirmed. So it's probably going to get hit with a little bit of delay, but we're still getting it hopefully this year, especially if they're finishing up filming early January, and we could be seeing this thing kind of, I wouldn't say second quarter, but probably third, most likely fourth quarter of 2024, which is great.
Yeah.
And then the other big pieces of news, I don't really want to read too much into it because literally there are two articles, maybe a couple hours apart, super contradicting. Daisy Ridley's untitled Rey Skywalker Star Wars movie reportedly delayed indefinitely, Stephen Knight possibly exiting. So Stephen Knight's one of the head writers for this movie. I think a lot of people kind of assumed this might be coming when we heard The Mandalorian was kind of being pushed on the tracks, on the fast tracks, right? They were going to start getting production ready this year. We were like, well, this Rey movie was supposed to be the first one. What's kind of happening? And I kind of thought, I think most people kind of had the same thought. Maybe this Rey movie is going to be getting a little bit of a shove back, a delay at the very least, right? Because this was not long after they had this big scandal, this big problem with the director coming out making these crude comments, right? I don't think that's a coincidence. And I think the only coincidence that The Mandalorian is by far the most popular piece of media that Star Wars and Lucasfilm have to offer. They kind of want to see, all right, this is what we know works. Let's try this first. Even in the movies in a little bit now, let's put out what's working right now and see if that works. And, I didn't know if this was for sure going to take a hit, but this article says it does. But not long after, in the same day, a couple hours, today, January 16th, opposing report claims the untitled Rey Skywalker Star Wars movie has not been delayed. Stephen Knight is still on board. Now, the Stephen Knight thing really doesn't affect me because I don't think that's why this might have gotten delayed. That definitely would delay if Stephen Knight was off the writing board. That's a big piece right there. But if he is or isn't, I still believe there's going to get a delay no matter what. For two reasons. One, it seems like every Star Wars project gets delayed no matter what. So, and that's inevitable. Two, like I said, Mandalorian's on the fast tracks. People are excited. People weren't not excited about this, but everyone's talking about the Mandalorian Grogu, right? Everyone, content creators who don't really care about Star Wars anymore, were talking about it, right? It was a big deal. When this Rey movie was talked about, it wasn't the same reaction. It was a good reaction, but there was definitely excitement, but it wasn't the same reaction, not the same kind of excitement. And then B, this could be true or it could not be true, but we just saw with the last big report that came out, and then another report kind of disclosing it, that the first one happened to be true, right? With The Mandalorian being turned into a movie, and then I don't remember, it was like a day or two after, another report was coming out that that's not true. Mandalorian season 4 is still going to be a TV show. And then, maybe a month later, we get it confirmed by Disney itself. So there's two things to kind of go off of it. Who knows what's true? Who knows what isn't? It's definitely conflicting, which is, you hate to see in this kind of world because you don't know what to trust, but who knows?
Yeah, is it going to be delayed? Probably, but I don't remember the last time we had something on time as of the first supposed date, so that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't disappoint me. That's sadly where the bar is right now, where everything's delayed by 3 to 4 months, but to get an article, one saying canceled and the other one saying it's not anymore, not even delayed, and Stephen Knight leaving, and then Stephen Knight's still on board. This is the same source 2 hours later. So
I gotta think their whole stock, the whole project, took it down rapidly when the director came out and made those kind of crude comments. I'm not gonna drop names. I'm not gonna drop the comments, but I mean, you don't have to do too much research to find out what was said. I mean, whatever side of the fence you're on politically, whatever the side of your fence on, the fandom, whatever you want to say. I mean, those comments were definitely out of line, and that I definitely think that affected this whole project as a whole. Right? You announce the original director and writer for this is off the board because you didn't like what he had, and then you bring someone new on, and the first thing you do is, I mean, it's not great to say the least, right? It's pretty dividing.
I've seen some content creators that I haven't ever seen touch Star Wars start insulting this new hire. Like, never mentioned anything about Star Wars before, and it's passive fans see this and get annoyed. I mean, and it's valid. They got some other things that they are pushing forward. So with a ton of backlash, I mean, we've seen big studios turn decisions over before. I mean, if not with anything else, with Sonic. I mean, if anyone saw that live action movie, that first thing that came out looked ugly and horrible, and they redid it. So, I mean, possibly this is a situation where they put someone on board and everyone throws backlash and Disney makes a decision. So who knows what'll happen, but it's clearly not going to be nothing.
Yeah. And then one last piece of information real quickly. Maybe this is why the two reports that came out at the time were conflicting. Mandalorian Season 4 this is the reports. I don't know if I believe this necessarily because there's just so many different reports. Mandalorian Season 4 is supposed to be a TV show. It's supposed to be a 6-part instead of the 8-part series. And then the finale is supposed to be the movie, which is unique. It's never been done before as far as I'm concerned. I haven't done a whole lot of research on that, but I've definitely never heard of it, right? So who knows how true this is? This is just a rumor and report this time. This has definitely not been confirmed by Disney, whereas the movie has been confirmed by Disney. So who knows? We'll see. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for all these things. We'll see about, the Rey movie, what's happening with that. Big news all around for sure, though. Bunch of new Lego Star Wars sets revealed, leaked, rumored. We've got all of them coming out in a new video, hopefully coming out this Friday for you guys, so keep an eye out for that. There is some fun things coming this summer for sure.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys are a Lego Star Wars fan, which I know a lot of the guys who follow us on the channel are, it's going to be a fun year for Lego Star Wars. Definitely one of the most unique we've seen in a long time.
Yep.
So there you guys have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you guys are listening to the podcast, hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast format. Don't forget to hit that follow and download. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And with that, we will see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.